Okay, here we go. So, what today is about is basically just walking you through the program. I've made a ton of changes, and I know that. So I want to go through and make sure that everyone's aware of what's included in the program as far as lifetime access, what's part of the Speech Coach Collective, which is the membership, just so you know what you're getting. The other thing that I think is really important, um, when we talk about session structure, I give you the plan of what to work on with most students, and we get the breakdown of what to do during each session. But I think it's really helpful. I think it will be really helpful for me to show you how you can use those, because really all that's left for you to do is to figure out what activities you're going to do in a session. And all of that is there in the practice libraries, but I think sometimes it can be a little difficult to find because I've said this before, those libraries are organized the way my brain works, but not everyone's brain is organized the same way. So I just want you to have a better understanding of how you can use. There's so much in those practice libraries that you can use in your sessions. So I want to make sure that everyone knows exactly what's there and exactly how to use it to plan your sessions. Okay. So if you take a look at the screen, this is what you will see when you log into the course. This is the updated section of the program. Okay. The first section is that you'll see. Now, yours might look slightly different. I'm in Kajabi. This is um, where I house and where I present all my courses. So I have a few more things that you might not have in your library. And it depends on when you joined the program and which plan you chose. But this is probably what you'll see when you log in. The Accent Specialist Training Program is first. And then right below it is the section for you to complete the evaluation, complete the quiz, submit the form to request continuing education hours, professional development hours, or ASHA CEUs. So if you're a speech pathologist, this section is going to be important. I'll show you what is inside there in just a moment. But what you need to know about this is the Accent Specialist Training Program, this is lifetime access. You'll be able to come back to this program as often as you like. But remember, lifetime access does not mean my lifetime or your lifetime. It means the lifetime of the program. If I ever, and I have no plans to do this, but if I ever decide to stop the program, remove it, take it down, I will give you 6 months notice and you'll be able to go in and download any of the videos that you want. So with that lifetime access also comes any updates that I've made. And if you've been in this program for a while, you've gotten 2 or 3, I can't remember, updates. And there's no extra fee for that. If I update this part of the program as it relates to the core training, you get those updates. I updated this year the accent specialist training simply because I think it needed to be condensed and organized in a better way. This information really doesn't change because this is the teaching. But if you are a part of the business boot camp, which we will also look at in a moment, I update this. I look at it every year to see if it needs updating because marketing changes a lot. So you have access to those updates as well once you've paid that initial fee. So let's go inside the accent specialist training. As I said, this part is lifetime access. If you're new to the program, this is where you should begin. You should work through this section of the program before you do anything else. This is where you learn how to do what we do, or where I show you the way I do what we do so that you can incorporate what you love into your own teaching and forget what you don't like. The modules are laid out in the order that you should work through them. So it's pretty straightforward. But I do want to take a moment to talk to speech pathologists. If you're a speech pathologist, this first section, you should read it. If you're not a speech pathologist, you can skim it, but you don't really need to pay too much attention to it. These are required by ASHA. Everything that's in here, I am required to put in here to be compliant with ASHA's continuing education. It tells you exactly what you need to do to complete the course to earn your ASHA CEUs. It tells you my schedule for reporting. I report once a month. This isn't a big deal unless you're completing the course in December. Because if you complete the course in December, I will not report your hours until January. So if your 3-year maintenance interval is ending in December, you need to make sure to complete the course by November because I report it the next month. So if you are a speech pathologist, this is all in here. You can come in and read it for yourself. The other thing that is important that I think a lot of people are missing is, I'm going to go back to the page so you know where I'm going. I'm in module 1. It's technically the second lesson, benefits of completing the program. If you haven't read this thoroughly, I think you should, because it tells you everything that you get after you complete the program. So you get your certificate and your digital badge. We'll talk more about that in a moment. The Speech Coach Collective, it's free for everyone for 1 year. After the first year, it does not automatically renew. If you want to sign up for it, you can, that decision. Affiliates. I have an affiliate program, which is all you have to do is sign up. You share the link for this program. And if someone signs up using your link, you get a 30% commission on the sale, which is wonderful. All you have to do is share the link. And this is only open to people who have completed the program because I want to keep it as ethical as possible. If you love the program and you have friends or colleagues that you would recommend it to anyway, why not use the link and get a 30% commission? It adds up. It's a good, the program is not cheap. And so you'll get a good chunk, 30% of that. All the information is here. You just have to go to this section. You do have to sign up. And you'll just need a PayPal account, and you'll need to give me, you'll see when you go in. It's not difficult to do. The teacher directory, once you've completed the program, you can sign up for the teacher directory. For your first year, so I changed it recently that it used to be that anyone could sign up after they completed the program. I changed that recently. And now you must be a member of the Speech Coach Collective in order to be listed in the directory. So for your first year, that's free. For the second year, you have to be a part of the Speech Coach Collective. I made that decision mainly based on the fact that there were a lot of dead links and outdated web pages, and I had no way of getting in contact with the teachers who were listed. I also have started sending, I know some of the people that I'm sending to this page. They're high profile, really great clients. And I want to be sure that the people who are listed in that directory are continuing to expand their skills and develop their skills. And the only way that I know you're doing that is if you're in the Speech Coach Collective, that you're attending a few of the live replays or live sessions or watching the replays, and that you're continuing to develop your skills, and I can be in contact with you. So there are a few requirements to stay listed in the teacher directory. If you want to be a part of that, or if you are a part of that, make sure you look over this because it's important. Oh, teacher spotlight, I've kind of slacked on. I still have it here. I've slacked on it because I haven't gotten a lot of submissions, but I do feature teachers in my social media if you answer these questions and give me this information. It's great for both of us because it exposes you to my audience. It's great for me because you are proof of my program working. So you can take a look at that as well. And then I have if you're struggling with your marketing, if you're struggling to explain what we do to students and potential students, I've written it out for you here. You can copy and paste this, use it on your website, or link there's a link you can post where your students can go that goes to my website, and that explains what we do. So this is kind of boring. It's all text, but if you haven't checked out that section, you probably should. All right, going back to our accent specialist training, again, it's laid out for you in the order in which you should complete it. You learn how to do an assessment, the curriculum and lesson plan design, implementing your programs. This is all pretty straightforward, I think. How to structure a session. Yeah. So what else do I want to mention here? I think it's straightforward. This, if you've been in the program for a while, this section is completely new. And I think that some people I'm getting a lot of questions about working with corporate, how to market to corporate clients. Um, if you haven't watched this section, you should definitely go back and do it because a lot of the questions that people have are already answered here. If working with actors is something that you're interested in, watch this section because I talk a lot about how to do it. You can still ask questions, but I think there's a lot of information that people aren't seeing. So this is a new section that was added in February. And if you haven't checked it out, you should. There's a great lesson on working with long-term students, but last week I did an even better workshop on working with long-term students. It's in the Speech Coach Collective. We'll get there in a moment. Oh, there was one other thing that I love that I added. I'm going to go back to module 3. Yeah. So if you were in the program previously, there was a whole really long, really boring section called the 11 Essential Goals of the American Accent. It took forever to get through. It was great information, but it was the same information that is in the practice libraries. It's just how the course developed. One of the reasons I redid the course in February, I took all that information that was in that really long, like 4-hour Essential 11 Goals section and condensed it into a 52-minute workshop. So again, if you've been in the program for a while and you haven't taken a look at the updates, I recommend going into, let's see, it's module 3, lesson 2, the 11 essential goals of the American accent. If you're brand new to accent training, or even if you're not, this is a really great overview of those 11 goals, exactly how to teach them, exactly how to explain them to your students, and it's in a really condensed version. I love this lesson, and I think it's a really good addition to the program. What else? Our lesson plans for specific languages. So we've added quite a few in the past couple of years. You can see everything that we have. And this year, we started doing some assessment practice as part of the Speech Coach Collective. So for many of these lesson plans, these are mainly text, what you see in this part of the program. There's another section in the Speech Coach Collective that I will show you in a moment that has workshops. They're either us doing assessment practice or me really digging into the specific goals for these languages. I don't have them for every single language listed here, but I have it for a lot of them. So you want to check that out as well. This is where you'd go for the text, the PDF of what to work on. But if you want more information, for example, French. So the lesson plan is here. You can download it. It's a PDF. All right. This might look different on your phone. It might look different if you're using the Kajabi app to work through the program. There's an app, if you didn't know, that you can download the Kajabi app and work through all of this there. You can also do it on the phone. I don't know that the app is really that helpful, and it takes away a lot of the design features, but it's still, useful for doing this on the go. But you can download this. These are some examples from the IDEA. So these would be speech samples from the IDEA database. And then I have a link to the workshop that we did when we were practicing the assessment of French speakers. So if you want to learn more and watch a video about French speakers and the goal for French speakers, that's in the Speech Coach Collective, and you can click there. It'll take you right through it. And then I'll show you that section as well. The reason I did this, it's just hard to keep. There are 2 reasons. I'm going to keep it short. One of the reasons is in this section, again, speech pathologists, if I make changes to this section, I have to update the course with ASHA, and it's a whole registration process that I don't have time for. The Speech Coach Collective is not available for ASHA CEUs, so I have a ton more flexibility with what I can add and take away in there. So that's one of the reasons. The other reasons, it's just easier to categorize it and to keep the Speech Coach Collective is an ongoing. I'm constantly adding things and categorizing old live sessions into new categories. So We will get there. But if you've been through the core section, if you've worked with, let's say, 10 students, you should check into the Speech Coach Collective every month or so because there's always new information that's being added. And that's where I'm thinking of that as more of the advanced teaching techniques, ongoing business um, lessons and marketing things that you can do that you haven't done. That's all going to be over there. This is really the core training that you need to get started. And then the Speech Coach Collective will be everything that you should do after you've started working with students. Think of it that way. Okay. I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. There is a lot of information. Oh, I just want to show you one more thing before I head out of here. Um, this is good. This is good. I think we're okay with this. Yeah, I do want to mention two things here. First of all, for these live sessions, I think a lot of people don't know when they're happening. I am I was doing the same time and day every month to try to keep it consistent so that more people could schedule and show up. That didn't really work. And a lot of people in different time zones were asking for different times. So now I'm trying different days of the week, different times of day to hopefully accommodate everyone's schedule. There are several different places that you can find a calendar. One of them is right here. This will link you to this page which has all of the upcoming events. Okay. I'm trying to keep it 2 months ahead. I'm not there right now because summer is ending. My daughter goes back to school and that changes my schedule. So I'm trying to wait and see what her after school. I just don't want to have to cancel things. But check this calendar. Try if you're interested in attending the live events, you get so much more out of these events when you show up live because you can ask questions and we can collaborate and you can share your advice too. Make notes of these and try to attend whenever you can. You can always find the calendar right here. Okay, so that's one place that you can find it. There are several other places and I'll show you those as well. The other thing that I want to show you is right here on the main page, the very last module is the coupon code for the Speech Coach Collective. So if you haven't signed up and you want to sign up, please don't pay the price that's listed on the website. The links are right here. You can use this link or you can use this coupon code at checkout. The page on my website where you can sign up for the Speech Coach Collective links right to this page. It's right underneath. It links to this page. You do have to sign in, but if you're ever unsure of where this coupon code is, it's in the Accent Specialist Training Program, and it's the last module. All right. So that's really all you have to know about that. And then these are all your course completion requirements. This is more important for speech pathologists, but it is important for everyone else because this is where you will get your digital badge, which you can share on social media. You can, let's see, where is it? This is what it looks like. This is how to share it on LinkedIn. And where is the actual digital badge? Oh, it's right here. It's a download. Sorry, this is a different layout in Kajabi. You download it right here. You can see the download come up and you can save it. And this page tells you exactly how to share it on social media. The other thing that is important, this is your quiz. This is your course evaluation. This is the ASHA CEU training form. This is also where you go to get your certificate of completion. There's a quiz. You go through and you answer all these questions. Whatever. And then when you hit submit, your certificate of completion will be emailed to you automatically. It's all automated. So make sure you put your name exactly when you do this. Make sure your name is exactly the way you want it to appear on that certificate. And that's all you do. We've received your information. Your certificate will be emailed to you at the address that you use to log into the course. It's that simple. And you can do this more than once. If you have lost your certificate and you want another one, it's perfectly fine to go through this again. I look for duplicates. It's fine. I can sort it out. If you do not get your certificate, it does happen. Sometimes it goes to spam, so check there first. If not, send me an email and I will get a PDF copy. PDF copy. I need too much coffee today. PDF copy, and I'll email it to you. The other thing I want to mention is this automated certificate does not look amazing. It's meant to be shared on social media. It's meant to be more of a digital badge, and it's through Kajabi. If you don't like the way it looks, if you're looking for something that you want to hang in an office or you want to share on a website that looks better than this looks, send me an email and I will create a copy for you. Just please keep in mind, it takes me time to do this. So don't just do it to do it. But I do understand if you really need something that looks better, I will absolutely accommodate that for you. But it does take my time. So, only if you really, really need it. Okay. I think that's all in this section. One thing I want to mention about this section, and bear with me if you're not, well, everyone needs to know this. This section, the digital badge, quiz, course evaluation, all of this, and also this section, it's the same thing, but it's for the business boot camp. These will disappear from your library 1 year from the date that you enrolled. If you were part of the updates, if you enrolled in the course prior to February 2024, that means that you were granted these updates. You didn't pay for them. And so they will this section and this section will disappear from your library on January 31st or February 1st, 2025. I can't remember which day. The reason that disappears, part of it, again, is to be compliant with ASHA. I need to put a deadline on the time it takes for you to complete the course. So it is 1 year. And that's a good thing. If you sign up, you should complete the course. And that's really the main reason. If for any reason this disappears and you would like to, and you need it, you haven't completed the course and you need that form and you still want to get the ASHA CEUs, but something happened in your life and it just took you too long, it's fine. Let me know. I will send you a link. There's a $25 fee to purchase this form again. It's just to stay compliant with the CE. And it's a processing fee. Again, it's my time. And if I have to send this to you and get you this information again and make some accommodations because you haven't completed the course within the year, it's just a $25 processing fee. So that is a possibility. Keep that in mind, but just try to complete it within the year. Okay. Next section. Not all of you have this. Some of you are just in the teacher training program. But most of you are also a part of the business boot camp. This is also lifetime access, including updates. Same thing. As long as it's up, you will have access to it. I will update this course from time to time, and you'll be included in the updates. It looks very similar inside. And again, it's set up the way I would recommend that you complete it. Speech pathologists, again, please take a moment to read the disclosures and course completion requirements. The difference in the business boot camp, I would not expect to, and this was redesigned in February 2024. I wouldn't expect to plow through. So the teacher training, you could probably plow through in a weekend. This, I wouldn't expect the same thing. This is very step by step. This is a lot of doing. There are exercises here. And again, if you were a part of the updates and haven't completed this because you went through the old course, I really recommend going back in because it's much more hands-on, a lot of exercises to complete to help you clarify your target audience, define your marketing message, create copy for your website. We actually take the time to do these exercises to create exactly what you should be saying to your students on social media. So these might take you a little bit longer because you're doing work. You're downloading this document, you're working through my exercises, I'm giving you prompts, you're taking time to write what you think your answers will be. And then, but when you're done, you're going to have these pages of information to make your marketing so much easier. So this is a lot more doing than learning. And I really love the way it's set up now. Um, it's just step by step, follow it through. The first section focuses really on defining that target audience and kind of setting yourself up. Module 2, again, action item list. This is a to-do list of things that you should have in place for your business before you see a single student. If you don't have these things in place, you're not ready, but I tell you exactly how to do it. We talk about email list, exactly what to write on your email list opt-in landing page. This is a really step-by-step active lesson. How to set up your landing page for your email opt-in. I use a lot of screenshots and I show you exactly what to do. So this is important. And I do get a lot of questions. What should I do to find new students? How should I, what should I be doing in my business? What's the first thing that you recommend that I should set up? I'm happy to answer those questions, but I promise you, you're going to get a better answer in a lesson that I took an entire year to create, to edit, to film, and to set up for you. So think about going through these lessons. You're going to get so much out of it, whether you're new to this or whether you've been doing it for years. This is updated information that's working now, that what's working in 2024. And if you, it's really it doesn't take too much time to get through, but I would recommend you doing it. I mean, I wouldn't have made the course if I didn't recommend that you do it. We talk a bit about content, how to create free content, some tips basically, I just want you to know that there are no new subjects. When you're trying to create your free content, it's okay to look to other people, including myself, for inspiration. There are definitely ways to make it your own, ways to repurpose your content to save time, how to create videos when you don't have a ton of money. My videos do not cost much. I use this camera that I'm looking at I basically use this same setup. So what I'm doing right now, I could absolutely use for social media. In fact, I am recording it. And if I find something I like, I repurpose it for social media. Email newsletters. This is what I'm doing now. If you're, once you have go in and watch the lesson. I'm not going to go into it. It's all good stuff. It's all active stuff. If you don't have everything in this course set up, I wouldn't expect you to have a consistent caseload. If you don't have it as many students as you like, work through the entire updated version of the business bootcamp and then come ask me some questions about how to make it better. Because if you don't have all of this set up, then I wouldn't expect you to have a consistent caseload. All right. There's so much in here. Your free assessment, how to make sure that your free assessment is also a sales pitch without feeling creepy. I promise you it's not creepy. It's teaching, explaining how you can help, and giving them the next steps. But please watch the lesson. How to get the word out about your free assessment, how to attract new students. It's right here. Yeah, watch the lessons. Converting to paying, we already did that. And then once you have everything set up, once you are bringing in new students, how to amplify that. It's all here. Asking for testimonials, how to appeal new offers, how to set up new offers and products that appeal to your current and past students, revenue beyond private sessions. I talk about why I love YouTube. And then just some good advice from me. So lots of good information. Please find the time to work through it if you haven't. And then after you've completed this, that's when the Speech Coach Collective is really going to help you. That's when the live sessions that we do are really going to help you. And this is lifetime access, including updates. I explained this form, very similar to this form. I'm not going to go through it again, but it does expire within a year. If you need an extension, let me know. And there is a $25 processing fee. All right. Do we have any questions so far? We are a small group, but is everything I'm saying making sense to the people that are here? Cool. Thank you. Okay. Now, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections are the Speech Coach Collective. They're a part of a membership. So it's included for your first year. After the first year, it's a membership and it works like any other membership. You sign up either yearly or monthly, it's auto renewing. If you shouldn't cancel, but if you want to cancel, when you want to cancel, it's very easy to do. Oh, wait, sorry, I don't want to go in there. I just want to make sure everyone knows it's up here in billing and settings. You click that. I'm not logged in because I'm on my Kajabi account, but billing and settings, you'll see a cancel subscription button. You'll see a remove credit card button. Very easy to do. But if you have any issues, just send me an email. I'm happy to cancel it for you. I can take care of it, but try to do it yourself first. All right. Speech Coach Collective resources and replays. This is my very favorite section of the entire program. Again, we have on this homepage, here's the calendar to the live events. It's right there on the homepage. Menu, click. Okay, good. Oh, this is I do have resources here. If you haven't checked out, this is on my website as well, but I linked it here. These are a lot of the materials and software and books that I love. And this is constantly being updated as well. If you haven't taken a look at this, there's some good info on here. That's on your Speech Coach Collective homepage as well. Sorry. Okay. I guess I should mention this. Private consulting sessions. If you ever want one-on-one time with me, you can book that right here. 25 minutes, 50 minutes. I can help you with your marketing. I can help you with once I know your target audience and your experience and where you're located, I can help you a lot more with your marketing. I don't have the time to do that for every single person unless it's booked out and it is my time. So there is a fee. The other thing I've done with a lot of teachers, if you're struggling with your sessions, you can send me a recording of a session. I will listen to that session and I'll make specific notes about what you're doing really well and places where I think you can improve. And then we'll meet for 25 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever you choose, and we can discuss it and we can make a plan to help improve what you're doing. So if you really want someone to listen to what you're doing and let you know if it's, how you can improve, we can all improve. So I will find something. If you listen to my sessions, I'm sure you'd find places where I could improve. But if that's something you're interested in, you can book that time, and that's in your Speech Coach Collective as well. It's also on my website, but oops, sorry. Let me move this Zoom thing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I just did, but it's fine. Okay. Speech Coach Collective. I've made some changes here. So basically, this is the way it's going to work. Here's our main page. You will find the most recent 4 or 5, depending on the topic, sessions right here. Latest live session replays. So as you can see, we've got our working with long-term students, which was amazing. We've got our tech talk. Oh, we just discussed some of the technology that we use. This was a bit of a follow-up to Tech Savvy Teaching with Yassine Hanawe. This was amazing. If you haven't watched this one, please go in and do it. Yeah.
So I see your consulting sessions for accent instructors. I
Oh,
don't
I see
see.
what I did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I pulled it away. Let's go back here. Thank you for letting me know because I would have gone on and on. Okay. There we go. All right. Can you see that now? Cool. All right. So these are the latest live sessions. The most recent will always be right here in the first module. I don't want to make that mistake again. And let's do this. Okay, here. I can't reach this arrow. This tech savvy teaching, go back and if you haven't seen this one, this was really great, really practical tools we can use in our teaching. And then I did a live Q&A. This was just pretty informal. We just talked. And then pricing your services. This was also an amazing workshop. Definitely watch this one if you haven't. And this, again, this answers a lot of questions about finding students, getting the word out. It is about pricing, but it's also about finding students and making your packages more attractive to them. And honestly, if you look at the date on this, May 16th, I did this session and I watched it back. I was editing and I thought I was like, I'm giving this advice. I need to raise my own prices because I talk about the outcome that we offer our students. And I'm looking at what I'm charging for this program and what the outcome people are building businesses. People are charging more than $100 to work, for their private sessions. And I thought my program was expensive, but the value that it gives is so much more. So it's persuasive and it actually encouraged me to raise my prices. And I hope it does the same for you. That was the intention anyway. Okay, after your most recent lives, this is new. So after we do a live session, I'm now organizing the content by content rather than dates. So I'm going to edit it as needed and put it in the appropriate place. So there's a section for teaching resources. And you can see here, this is one of our previous live sessions on using ChatGPT in your teaching. I put that under session activities. So if you're looking for session activities, if you don't know what to do during your sessions, come to the Speech Coach Collective, look in this section. Here's another lesson on session activities. This is all text. Some material for role play prompts and ideas to use in your sessions, places to find session materials. And I recently found these really cool MRIs of people speaking and singing. I started using these in my session to give a sense of how everything works, where the tongue, teeth, lips, articulators, how everything works on certain sounds. So you can use these in your sessions to help your students understand the vocal mechanism. You could use it in a million different ways, but the resource is there for you. And this section of the program is going to be constantly updated. I will, when I find something I like, I'm going to add it to the appropriate section. Okay. So in our teaching section, we have session activities. We have frequently asked questions. Do you ever work with students more than once a week? My student sounds worse after a few sessions. What should I do? My client is too focused on the visual. Can I work with different language backgrounds? So questions that I've gotten in the live Q&As, I've cut these into shorter videos. So if you find that you have a question, the answer might be there. So check out that section. I have a section on working with long-term students. That last replay is going to go here eventually. It's not there now. And then any research and articles that I find to be interesting, I'm putting that here. And then any information on working with groups. This is another question that I get a lot. How to work with groups, how to work with more than one person. Please come and watch this live. It will help. Now, there's also a search bar. So if you have a particular topic in mind, you can search for it right here. Let's try working with groups because I know something will come up. And there it is, working with groups. I guess I mentioned it here in this informal hangout. I mentioned it in working with long-term students. So please try using this search engine. I know there's a lot of information and I know that it's not always in the best, I know the organization isn't perfect, but try the search box first because that's going to help you a lot more than sending me an email and asking where something is. If you can't find it after you've done a search, please feel free to send me an email, but try this first. Okay, then we've got our marketing section. So teaching resources here, marketing resources here. I have lessons on accounting, bookkeeping, expenses, some resources for places to get more info about that. Oh my gosh, this is new. Okay. Email marketing mini course. If you're part of the old program, this was in the marketing course. But what was happening is people were getting totally overwhelmed and feeling really stuck. It was way too much information. So I took the email marketing out of the updates. It's no longer in the business bootcamp because I want you to complete the business bootcamp first. You have to have everything in the business bootcamp in place first. Then you could come over here and do the email marketing mini course. If you want to set up a lead magnet to build your email list and then set up a welcome sequence to nurture that audience, which is a very it's a tried and true marketing strategy. And it's been the most successful for me, right? So like my students find me on YouTube, but after they find me on YouTube, what happens? This is what happens. If you haven't worked through the email marketing mini course, definitely do it. I'm also planning in the future, hopefully in the fall, but it might be early next year. I'm going to offer this as a cohort. So everyone has access to it. However, I'm going to set up a schedule where there will be an extra fee for it, but it's like 1 month. We'll meet live once or twice a week to discuss the lessons, and I'll help you with your market, with your copy, with your writing, with setting up your email sequence. So for people who know what they need to do, but need a push, like you need some accountability to actually do it, that's what the cohort is going to be. And it's totally optional, but I think a lot of you will benefit from it. And I'll send more information about that once I get it finalized. I just need to figure out the dates. But this is a great section. Even if you do it on your own, so good. But give yourself about a month to work through it because it's a lot of doing. Okay, same thing as the teaching section, just some frequently asked questions. These are shorter videos. That's long, but most of them are shorter. If you're looking for session policies, invoices, forms, anything like that, I have ideas for you, and they're all in this section. Now, you can't copy mine exactly, and I definitely recommend that you verify them with your lawyer or your accountant. But if you have no idea where to start, or if it's your first session, you just want something, um, go here because there are resources for you to get that moving. Marketing exercises. I plan to add more to this section because I love a marketing exercise, a brainstorm, a journal prompt, that kind of thing. That's what you'll find here. Some ideas for passive income, any information about sales pages. And I'm not great with design, but if you want to make your website, sales pages, landing pages look a little better, there's a little bit of info there. And then anything having to do with social media marketing, Facebook ads, it's here. Instagram, finding students on LinkedIn. This is all in the social media category. And then software and systems that I like, you can find that here. So yes, there's a lot of info, but you have your search box. And I do recommend that you just spend some time looking around because there's a lot of information that I think a lot of people are missing out on. Let me show you exactly where this is. Sorry. Language specific workshops. This is what we talked about earlier. So if you want live video about Arabic speakers, Brazilian speakers, Chinese speakers, French, these go along with the lesson plans that you have in the main part of the course. Thank you. What an over delivery. I know. It's just great. Listen, it's what I wanted when I start. It's actually what I use with my own clients. And a lot of this is for me because my memory is not what it used to be. So I organize everything where I can find it so I can use it for my sessions. But yeah, I think a lot of people just don't know that all this is here. So Teodora, thank you. Um, we do either an assessment practice or I do a workshop. And really, I think I put if I didn't, yeah, the PDF lesson plan is also in this section. So this is probably more informative than, or it goes a little deeper than what you get in the main section. So if you're looking for specific knowledge about specific languages, I would go here, Speech Coach Collective. And then we have one more section, live replays from previous years. So this is basically stuff I haven't organized yet. So there's some good stuff. I know there is, but this would be least priority. But you could, and as you can see, I used to organize it by date, which isn't really helpful. So I get why people weren't diving into this. This will eventually all be either tossed out because it's outdated or organized into those other groups. So you really don't need to spend too much time here. Okay. Now, this is below the Speech Coach Collective resources and replays is our Speech Coach Collective, which is confusing. This is the off Facebook community. Now, this Kajabi offered this, and I thought, oh, it's such a good idea. But I'm really having a hard time getting people off of Facebook. It's just, hold on, let me go to the community. Let's see, it should go here. I'm really having trouble getting people off of Facebook and into this private community. And I knew that was going to happen, but I like this format. And what you'll use it for and what I really love about it is the meetup section. So these live meetups, you can always find, again, the calendar for these events and the Zoom links for these events. So if you're unsure of how to log into a live meetup, it's always going to be in this Speech Coach Collective community. It says live Zoom links off Facebook community. Okay. That's really all this is good for. It's just so helpful for me because this sends you those automatic reminders via email. And there's an app for this. I highly recommend signing up for the Kajabi app and the Kajabi Communities app. If you go to the Speech Coach, this section on the homepage, I give instructions of how to download the Communities app. So you could have all this on your phone. It's just easier and it sends reminders. The other thing that's cool is we did start a book club, but I got busy and it fizzled out. But I'm in the process of getting it going again and having members of our community lead it. To lead the book club, all you have to do is really set the schedule and tell people what chapters to read and what dates you'll be discussing them. All the discussion is in the chat. If we get a lot of interest, we could add live meetups to discuss the books, but we're not there yet. So this is going to be this book club. I think we will get it going again, and it would be really helpful as well. I know the book that we started was Bob McKinney's book, Here's How to Do Accent Modification. It's wonderful, and that's what we'll be starting with when we get it going again. So we'll keep that going, but really you'll use that for the live meetups. Okay, I've got like 8 minutes. Then we've got our practice libraries. Right now there are 3 sections: rhythm and intonation, sounds, and common words. Now, I'm in the process of reorganizing all of these so that they are in one of these sections. So in the future, you won't have to go here and then here and then here. Everything will be in one instructor library, so it's more easily searchable. That's why. I'm not going to go into the why this is 3 sections, but technology gets better, and so we'll keep up with that. So again, these are the sections that I would use after you've gone through the main course. If you're looking for session activities in the accent specialist training and in the Speech Coach Collective, those specific language lesson plans, I tell you what to work on. Work on TH, work on A versus E, work on rhythm. Okay, that's all well and good, but what do we do? That's when you will come over to these 3 sections. And let's say you're doing your very first session with a student. You're going to start with TH. Speaking of which, I don't want to get on a tangent, but has anyone seen the Olympics have started, and there's a really awesome commercial where they ask different people from different languages, what's the hardest thing to say in English? And the first guy says the word sixth because of the TH. And then the second person says anything with a TH. And these are non-native speakers. And I was like cheering when I saw that. But then they say, oh, did you mean emotionally? And then they say things like, what's the hardest thing to say in English? I'm sorry. I love you. And it's a beautiful commercial. But the beginning made me so happy because two people mentioned TH. And if it's the best place to start, it always is. Okay. But let's say you're working on TH. You go into the sounds section because TH is a sound. It's a consonant. Everything's organized. Oh, teaching tips for consonants. I will probably move. I don't know. I might move this into the Speech Coach Collective. Okay, I'll worry about that later. Um, we're looking for TH. It's alphabetical, even though we go by sound, not letter, which I know is weird. But it's funny because speech pathologists really think by sound. ESL teachers really think by letter. As an accent teacher, you really should be thinking both. I mean, you kind of have to take the letter and then translate in your head what sound it actually is. So I don't know the best way to organize it, but I do know that TH is right here. And this is the section. So in this section, any video with me in it is me explaining how to teach the sound. So if you don't know what to say to your student, you'll go here and I'll tell you exactly what to say to your student. I tell you exactly how to teach the sound. And that's what these learn the sound videos are, how to explain it to your student. I have notes and teaching tips to help you through that. There are no downloads and no practice sheets because these are teaching videos. This is me, how I teach the sound. This is another teaching video. If there's a specific concept or characteristic of a sound that I think is important for a student to know, there might be another video and you can watch that too. Here I have the exceptions. If you're interested in pretty much, I think I have all of them, but if I don't, please let me know here. Words that are spelled with TH but pronounced with T, they're in this video. There aren't that many of them. But when you're looking for session materials, you can always find those in these practice videos. So if you see a screen with words, and it will probably say practice. These are the training videos. Now, the videos are not downloadable. The files would just be too big. But there is a practice sheet and an audio file for every one of these. And there are like 300 of them. And these are you can download them and save them to your computer, to your files. You are free to share them with your student. You can use these in your sessions. The only thing you can't do is post them online or try to sell them because they are my work. But for your sessions, for your classes, these are yours to use. And I think this is one of the best parts of this program, having these materials. If you decide that you want your student to have access to this video, I do have a separate library for students to use. They will have to sign up and create their own account. They can, and there's an extra charge for that. They can pay, or you can pay for it if you want it to be part of your programs. And there's more information about that inside the program. I don't know that it's super necessary because I really think the practice sheets and the audios are enough. But if you want your student to have some place to log in and be able to work with the videos, then you have that option, but that's totally up to you. So that is, now, in addition to just sounds, it's worth, again, there's a search feature. Going through these libraries can be really helpful to help you find, we're always talking about different ways to review an older goal, but present new information. So there are lessons like this, voiced consonants. Let's say you've already worked on S versus Z. This lesson explains, why that's important, but it also gives you all of the other voiced sounds. There's a chart of voiceless versus voiced sounds. So you'll see that other voiced consonants include V or J. And so if you're working with students longer term, they understand the concept of voiced consonants. You could then come back in here and say, oh, okay, so there's another voiced consonant, J. I want to work on voiced consonants. So let's see what we've got with V. We've got final V. Amazing. Let's use those practice sheets. I know it's a V sound, and maybe my student doesn't need to work on V, but they do need to work on final voiced consonants. So I could do an entire session just focused on getting voicing on the V at the ends of words. I'll use this practice sheet. We'll focus on that sound in conversation. Then the rest of the session will be conversation on everything we've learned. All right. So you've got to get more comfortable with repurposing concepts for longer term students. The sound section is a wonderful place to do that. Um, this section on the Weird American Tea, this could be a course in and of itself. I find it really interesting, and you may not use it with every student, but I do think it's really helpful to know. This explains every possible pronunciation of the letter T in American English. And it might not seem like that's a big deal, but it's a lot. There are a lot of weird things that we do. So I would work through this like a course. Um, if you're looking to troubleshoot specific consonants, for example, if you have uh, uh, what do we have? L versus R. So if you're working on with a Chinese speaker, there are specific sheets for L versus R. If you're working on with someone from and mainland China, I think some Chinese accents do this. S versus Z, sh versus ch, coming soon. I think I have sheets in there. I will get those posted. That would be for Spanish speakers. This could also be for Spanish speakers. V versus B, W versus V for speakers of different languages of India. So there are comparison troubleshooting sheets in this section. And then rhythm and intonation, there's a lot in there. But basically, these sections should be used after you've completed the main course and you're really looking for session activities, what to do in your sessions, because it's all here. This, I'm working on getting all of these done, but I mentioned this in the long-term student, working with long-term students workshop. We've got all these words that we rush, and you learn those here as a group. But after you've introduced these words as a group, earlier on in your sessions, for long-term students, you may want to focus specifically on the word are. So saying, of course I can't, they are, we're ready, or, using are as in the unstressed syllable. You've got a practice sheet and an audio file for that. And again, this could be a full session. You introduce the sound, you work on just this word specifically, you give them the rest of the sheet for homework, and then you practice in conversations. So there's one of those for each of these. What's in here? I don't even know. You can look around. And again, there is a search feature. The last section of these 3 common words. Again, these will probably be for longer term students, but there are materials for common words that come up a lot that are strange. For example, the word of. Most of my students will pronounce it of. So we will spend an entire session discussing the fact that the word of is actually pronounced with a V, of, and it's usually rushed. So it's usually more like ooh. And then we have practice in sentences for that.
Although this word
Whoops, I didn't mean to push that. So the common words, there's letters and numbers, the rhythm and intonation, pronouncing acronyms. This is one of my favorite lessons with longer term students, because when we say, my students will say things like CEO, CEO, and we will work on making those vowels longer and using the W and Y shadow. It's not CEO, it's actually CEO, CEO. And we'll work on that. So come explore this section. There's articles are usually on stress. There's a lesson on contractions, the rules for pronouncing past tenses, and how to practice them specifically when they're pronounced as T, when they're pronounced as D, when they're pronounced as it. So let me go back to my Zoom. So this common word section has a lot of information for longer term students, and it's worth just looking around. I think I've said this before, but when I started doing this work, we had a big filing cabinet. It was one of the big ones like this, and there were three drawers. And when I wasn't seeing a student, I would just go through those practice sheets and look at the different concepts. For example, the W and Y shadow, learning about that, and then figuring out how I could incorporate that into my sessions and what activities we could use. And sometimes it's just reading out loud focused on a particular, with longer term students, you can have them read out loud and focus on a particular concept. But there's so much you can do, but you have to be aware of the concepts. And these sections not only give you the materials, I actually explain a ton of more advanced concepts in the sections. And I know it's not the very best layout, and I know it's a lot of info and can be difficult to work through, but it really will help you in your teaching, especially if you're working with longer term students. I think that's it. I think that's all I've got to say. Are there any questions about that or any thoughts, or even if you're watching this in as a replay, I'm very open to suggestions on how to make all of this more easily accessible, easier to access, easier to find, or anything that would help you use these resources more effectively. So feel free to post that below, or if you're here to type that in the chat, or if you want to ask a question, because as I said, my brain works in one way that some people will respond to, but not everyone will. I think a different type of organization could be more useful to other people. But yeah, that's that.
I
Oh, that made
appreciate
me.
it.
Oh, thank you for showing up. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I
I
think
think
this
especially
is
that common words is great. I hadn't ever looked into the common word section, and I can think of two or three students that I need to pull some stuff out for that right now.
perfect. There are also themes in that section that I use a
Uh,
lot. Where is it? Is it most common words? No, it's in general vocabulary. So age and appearance, buildings and places to go, holidays, seasons, what to say in a doctor's office. So if you're really struggling for something to do, it's nice to have this up and ready to go, and you could just pull up one of these and it gets the session going. That's another thing. When you have your sessions, sometimes you have a bunch of things planned and it all goes, they work through it so quickly. And then you're like, oh my God, what do I do? That's when I would pull up one of
mhm,
these and just you don't even have to, you just use the sheets. Most common
mhm.
first names. Pull that out. It's right there. And you can work on that in the session with your student. That can also be homework. So, yeah, and to for a lot of you, and Monty, I think you're probably included in this group. I've made a ton of changes over the last 5 years. So some things get moved around and things get added and updated, and I don't think everyone knows. I do my best to communicate it, but it's a lot and it's hard because I know everyone's busy. But I do think that I'm at a place now where this is what I've been trying to build for 5 years, and this is going to be the structure. The only change that's going to happen is these three sections of the instructor library, I think, make more sense to be condensed into one project or one product. I call a Kajabi product, one section of the library, because then you can easily search and it won't be so much like what's going
Mhm.
on. So, all right.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.